Phil Cardinelli here to tell you about the all-new conspiracy theory. I have a theory. If you take the #1 selling core in radical history, tweak it to create a quicker reaction, wrap a new cover formula around it, you'll get an even more dynamic ball motion. The conspiracy theory features a higher intermediate differential, creating a quicker and sharper responsive core. This, along with DynamiCore and the new textured pearl cover, creates a new dimension in ball motion and a greater hitting power.
I'm sure you want to know what the oil pattern is. Easy, that's the pattern. ThroBot allows us to mimic any bowler in the world, so we invented our own to best show off our products. Okay, it's time to meet our crew.
Jimmy Foulin is a quirky tweener. His one-liners are straight up the boards.
LEBRON Frames is the comeback kid, overcoming insurmountable odds to achieve victory.
Cuba Hooking Jr. is your typical cranker. Standing left and throwing it right is his forte. Ed Sheerhand jams. Perfect pitch every time. A radical one-man show. Low-speed, low-rev players like Jimmy Foulin get lots of help on off hits from the conspiracy theory with DynamiCore. The pin-down drilling allows Jimmy to keep his angles closed, keeping the ball in front of him. A pin-down drilling for a low-speed, low-rev player is very condition-specific. For Jimmy, the pin-up data was very similar to the pin-down. The pin-down read the lane a little sooner than the pin-up. For Jimmy, when we compared the conspiracy theory to the conspiracy solid, the theory crossed more total boards, had a greater hook power, similar entry and impact angles, but was stronger through the pins. The graph of the data for both balls showed that the theory followed the same path as the solid, but had more down lane motion. Our resident stroker, LEBRON Frames, sees lots of total hook from the conspiracy theory. The pin down theory crossed 20 total boards with a strong hook power of 10.6. For LEBRON, the pin-up drilling was more dynamic than the pin-down drilling. The pin-up drilling had more overall hook, more back end, and more continuation through the pins. When comparing the theory to the original conspiracy solid, they both hooked about the same, following the same path through the heads, but the theory had a greater entry angle, splitting the 8-9. Power players like Cuba Hooking Jr. like to open up the lane, and the conspiracy theory doesn't disappoint. The pin-down theory covers an impressive 27 boards with a strong 12.9 hook power, exiting the pin deck on the 22nd board. That's a lot of continuation from a pin-down drilling. Cuba's pin-up drilling performance is just as impressive, crossing 23 boards. As expected, the pin-up read the pattern a bit sooner. When compared to the solid conspiracy, you see a similar motion from both balls, but the conspiracy theory finishes deeper through the pin deck with a stronger down lane motion. This was the target when we developed the conspiracy theory. Ed Sheerhand is a pin's worst nightmare. His rev rate and ball speed exceed all expectation, and the conspiracy theory puts the finishing touch on the pin's annihilation. Textured pearl is our new innovation. Creating a ball that tracks in the oil and still flips on the back end is something you can only wish for. The conspiracy theory makes that wish come true. Wow, that's radical.